It's like a thread in a weaving, right? You pull one thread and the whole thing changes. That's what our lives are. You throw a stone in the water, it creates ripples. Like everything that we do has some form of impact, whether it's big or small, but our habits are the most important because it's not what we do every once in a while that matters so much. It's what we do every single day that really creates an impact, whether it's the impact that we want or it's a negative impact or it's some kind of neutral in between. It's really important. And it's the little tiny things that build up that make up our life, right? It's not the one event or the one thing we did one time. It might have had a big impact, but it's not our life. Our life is made up of the little moments. How we grocery shop, how we sleep, how we have our morning routines, how we have our nighttime routines, what we drink throughout the day, how that impacts our minds. Like all of these things matter. Okay, then I wanted to read this really awesome quote that James Clear wrote in his book, Atomic Habits. He wrote two different things that I'm going to read. He said, "A single decision is easy to dismiss, but when we repeat 1% errors day after day, by replicating poor decisions, duplicating tiny mistakes, and rationalizing little excuses, our small choices compound into toxic results. It's the accumulation of many missteps, a 1% decline here and there, that eventually leads to a problem." And he goes on to say something that was really impactful to me, and I'm probably going to butcher it, but it was something like, your weight is a measure of many decisions that you've made that have had a lag time until now. Your IQ, or like your brain capacity, is based on all the decisions that you've made lagging up until now. So if you've read books every day for your life, or you've, been in information and you're growing and you're expanding, it's going to be much different than someone who is not focusing on knowledge or like acquiring knowledge. Not that it's good or bad, just that that's the impact. And so that's why figuring out your goal is so important, because to say read a book every day, if that's not your goal, it's like, well, why? that's not what you're going for. There's a million amazing things you can do, but what is actually important for your life? For your life. Your life. And then he says, the impact created by a change in your habits is similar to the effect of shifting the route of an airplane by just a few degrees. Imagine you were flying from LA to New York City. If a pilot leaving from LA adjusts the heading of the plane just 3.5 degrees south, which is very small, you will land in Washington, D.C. instead of New York City. Such a small change is barely noticeable at takeoff. Barely noticeable. The nose of the airplane moves just a few feet, but when magnified across the entire United States, you end up hundreds of miles apart from your destination you were trying to get to. A slight change in your daily habits can guide your life to a different destination. And that feels really important, because often when we make a change, we don't see results right away, like at all, like at all. It feels really discouraging, right? You're like a month in and maybe working out or something. I just keep using that because it's like the easiest one. But maybe you're not seeing any results. Like maybe your body hasn't changed at all. Maybe you're not feeling any different. Maybe you feel a little different, but you're not seeing the change. And that can be really devastating. And a lot of people stop. I won't say most. I'll give people the benefit of the doubt. But a lot of people stop after they try to make a change and they don't do it. Like learning a language. You try to learn a language a couple months in and you're like, I don't know, I'm no good at this. It takes time. It takes showing up every day, doing little things. And so I would say that when you're doing this, try to actually focus on the system and make that your goal instead of the goal being your goal. So that really your goal is to just do the thing, to create the meditation space, to build the altar, to get the app on your phone, to show up, like make all those tiny little things and trust that the meditation will happen, right? With the red wine, it's like get cool elixirs, get a cool glass, figure out what's triggering you to want to drink it, like, figure out these different components. That's the goal. Not being perfectly, like, not drinking wine, even though that's the bigger thing, right? Breaking it down into doable steps that you can celebrate along the way is going to make you trust yourself more. It's going to give you deeper self-esteem. It's going to give you deeper self-love and the ability to be like, I'm capable of making change, of doing little things that will have great impact. It helps you trust your life more. And that is what creates feeling calm, feeling clarity, feeling inspired in your body and mind. It's not like just when I reach that one thing, because then what a life. We're never at the goal, or like we're only get there at one point and we've missed the joy and the excitement and the little wins all along the way.